Hey there, and welcome to Popcorn Talks, iTalk Movies. Today, I'm talking with a special guest who's in the new Netflix film, Bright. Nadia Gray, let's get started.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk, we talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talks, iTalk Movies.
Right? I like we're both doing kind of the same head bob. We're like, all right. Oh, welcome to Popcorn Talks, iTalk Movies. We're going to be talking about the film Bright by Netflix and the star, Nadia Gray, and her role and all the other exciting things involved with that film. So welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So what is this song? Tell us. What are we listening to right now?
This is Danger by Migos, and it's from the Bright album, which is available on Spotify, iTunes, all the things. I love it. It gets me psyched up.
You seemed excited beforehand about the album for Bright.
Yes.
So would you say it's a good album?
It's so good.
Right.
I'm a little obsessive. My husband is over it. It's on repeat every day, right? Yeah, it's really good.
Would you say this is your favorite one from the album?
I have like 6 favorites. I'm so
okay,
annoying
that's
about
good.
it right now. I know. But this is one of my favorites.
Okay.
It's so good. Yeah.
Like you skip through and you're like, this one.
This one.
All
And
right,
then like
all right.
maybe repeat.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, where can people find you online?
It's Nadia Gray on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Is that a thing? Facebook? Yes, and Facebook, because I know what I'm talking about.
Well, we should also specify it's the word it's and Nadia Gray.
Nadia Gray.
Yeah, because it's one of those you'd sound like, yeah, it's Nadia Gray.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're right. Oh, my God. Yeah, that's true.
No, it's cool. I spell mine out. My name is Kari Lane. You can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's Karidlane. Because Kari is sometimes so many different ways to spell
That's
it.
a good name.
Well,
I like
thank
the way
you.
you spell it. It's different.
I got lucky.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, for people, little background, moved here from Clearwater, Florida.
Yes.
Which is funny. I have family who are from there too. So
Really?
I'm like, what? When I saw that and looked you up, I'm like,
Aw.
that's cool. Kind of small world, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Are they grandparents? It's usually the snowbirds that end up. Okay.
How did you like living in Florida?
Beach life is
Yeah.
great. But like the second I touched down in LA, I was like, yeah, that's home.
It's a slower pace over there.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, not a whole lot to do other than the beach culture. Yeah.
But you started out modeling. What made you go, I'm done with modeling, I'd rather do acting?
That was always the plan.
Okay.
I never really thought that I could even pursue acting in a real way until I kind of stumbled into modeling and I started making money doing that, and I was like, okay, this could get me there. So that was always the mentality.
How does
about
one
that.
stumble into modeling?
Oh, the stupid stereotypical story is like, oh, I was somewhere and somebody was like, hey, I kind of like your face, and I was like, all right,
You're all, yay, thanks.
yeah, thanks. Is that creepy? No, it just kind of happened. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
But then LA, you did like had to hit the ground running because you move out here and then you go, it's maybe a little harder than I expected.
And a lot of background work, a lot of
good times, right?
great times. It's so funny in retrospect. I really appreciate it because no one really teaches you about being on set, right? So I learned so much doing that, and a lot of commercial work just to kind of pay the bills while I was trying to get representation and all that kind of stuff. What
was your favorite show or movie that you did background on?
Oh, that's a good question. When Entourage was like at its peak, I did background on that, and I was warned that it was a little sketchy being on set, and it was actually a really fun atmosphere. That was a cool experience because it was like I'm newly in Hollywood, and it's like I'm inside of a Hollywood. It was trippy and fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What was your first TV job that you got to have speaking lines on?
So it was a show, Whitney, with comedian Whitney Cummings. It was her pilot for NBC. And I was hired as like a featured extra. And I was on set, and it was Andy Ackerman who was directing that episode from Seinfeld, and I was already like geeking out because I love comedy, I love Whitney Cummings, and they were like, "Hey, so we need you to say this line," and I was like, "Oh my god!" So kind of
be cool. Be cool.
Oh yeah, of course. So yeah, that was my first kind of real gig, I guess.
And then you were like, all right, I want to keep doing this.
And then I was a full-blown addict after that. Yeah. Yeah.
What was your favorite TV job that you've ever done?
That's so hard to answer. They all have their
three.
They all have their own stories. What's a really good one? I did NCIS LA.
Mm-hmm.
Was this a year ago? I don't even know. But in between scenes, I was kind of sequestered in my little holding area with LL Cool J. And so it ended up just being like me and him in a room for like an hour hanging out. And that was such a cool, surreal, fun day. He was asking me about myself and the things I was telling him about me and my life. He turned into a rap. And I just was dying. I basic bitch. I died 100 times and and was totally freaking out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was a cool day.
Started off.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, this is my job.
Yeah, this is a day I'm having. Sure.
Well, that's a perfect example. But were there any other moments where you're like, this is my job?
I think all of them.
Okay.
I'm that person. I am just so excited every time I'm on a set. I'm always like, do you need me for anything else? Like, I want to do my own blocking. I want to be my own second team. I'm like,
awesome.
I'm annoying like that.
No, it shows good initiative. You're like, no, please, I'll do it.
No, please, I don't want to go sit in my chair. I want to be
nice.
here. Yeah.
What was your first movie job?
My first real movie was Sandy Wexler, Adam Sandler film for Netflix. It kind of happened really fast. They decided, so Adam had his own two girls, his own children in the film. So they cast me and another woman to play his real life daughters grown up.
Oh, okay, cool.
And his wife was in the film, so I was his wife's character's daughter that were his daughters grown up.
So did you look anything like the kids that you go, sure, or not so much?
Not really, because in the film, his character's wife is Jennifer Hudson, so I'm like, okay, I'm like brown, I'm some kind of ethnic, like that could maybe, but then I was like, oh no, that's her, yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess Hollywood, right? But that was a fun day. It didn't even end up in the film, unfortunately. But it was such a trippy day. Just it was all improv, and because I was in the scene with his wife, I got to hang out with her and him all day, and it was kind of like a family affair. That was another surreal kind of day. Yeah.
You mentioned really improv. Fun. How much do you like improv?
A lot. I'm way too stressed out to be proficient in that world at all. Yeah. I like watching it. Yeah.
It's
I'm
good
not
exercise.
An improv actor.
Get those muscles, working on your toes, right?
Yeah.
You're like,
well, it's like, know what you're good at,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. It's good to work on those things. But yeah, I wouldn't be steering my career toward that path.
Right.
I would fail miserably.
Well, you don't know yet.
I don't know yet. I've
gotta try it first.
Yeah, well, like the classes, like even going to like an improv class stresses me out.
Why?
I don't know.
That's the whole point. You get to go and like just do whatever. It's the first thing that comes to your mind.
Exactly. So the second somebody's like, "Hey, what do you think?" and like my brain empties suddenly. So I don't know what that's about.
Gone.
Yeah, I should maybe see somebody about that.
No, because it is that like similar to learning your lines in improv. It's like you have to like be anticipating the next step almost.
Right.
So
right.
Just a
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Isn't the rule like yes and or something?
Generally,
and
you're keeping it going.
In my personality, I want to be like, no, super no, never. So instinctually,
instinctually,
I'm a real bummer.
I don't know. I'm not getting that vibe from you, though.
Good.
You seem like, this is great.
Okay.
So you go so that was a Netflix film, but now you're in a much bigger Netflix film, Bright, which comes out on the 22nd. How excited are you?
So excited. I'm like freaking out. Yeah.
Can you say anything yet? I read on something else. You're like, no, because Netflix is going to come and get me.
Say anything? Like what? What specifically?
Well, I guess who cares about teasers because it's gonna come out Friday.
Right.
What do you hope people get from the film?
I just hope they have so much fun watching it.
Okay.
It's really, really, really fun to watch. And my favorite thing is Will and Joel's relationship in the movie and their banter, but all the things happening around them. I mean, I could just talk. So this is where I have to like center and shut my mouth. It's just a lot of fun.
Oh no! If you got juicy gossip stories, please.
I
continue.
do, but I can't. This is where Netflix will kill me. But yeah, it's a good time.
So, you mentioned the name. So yeah, this is a Netflix film that has some big A-listers. They have Will Smith, Joe Edgerton. I was gonna say, I'm like, did I say it right? Yeah. So, what was that like working on a Netflix film? Did it feel any different? Like, did it feel different than the TV shows? Some people have said Netflix films, like how they film it, just feels a little different than a regular film. Did you notice anything like that?
So, I mean, it felt. I could feel the budget just walking on the set.
Okay.
Someone asked me recently about like, oh, did it mess you up having to do CGI work, whatever. But it was all real built, like very intricate sets.
Awesome.
So that was on another level than anything I've ever done. But, and again, I've never been a part of a big budgeted film, let alone something that's like 100 million plus, but it felt really, it felt as chill, I guess, as that atmosphere could be.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I've been on set for TV shows where like you kind of feel the pressure from the top, or it's very regimented and everyone's kind of on each other's asses about everything, and this did not feel like that at all. So I don't know. I think that says a lot about Netflix as a studio. I think they hired David to make the movie, and I think they let him make his movie, and that's a win for all of us because he's the best.
Now, I was going to say, well, you said he's the best. What was it like working with him? People don't know he directed Suicide Squad most recently.
Yeah. Incredible. He's just the best I've ever experienced. It was just crazy. I'm so grateful because I feel like I learned a lot. And it makes me excited even to go on to the next job with what I feel like he gave me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anything in particular that...
I can't even go into it without like getting into it.
Sure.
But he understands the psychology of people. So he goes really deep right away, and he just like forces you to be in that mindset. It's really impressive. He's like creepy smart guy, like obviously a very high EQ kind of deal. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
How did you first hear about this job? Like, is it regular? You just got a script came your way, or what?
I wish I was important enough to get that kind of information ahead of time. It was just an audition, and
cool.
Right away I just saw that it was for Netflix and for David Ayer. So immediately I was like, and that was kind of it. And initially the role was smaller than it ended up being.
Oh, that's a bonus. It got bigger.
Yes, girl, big bonus of my whole life right now. Yeah, that was it. That was all the information I had. And I was like, please, I will be so sad when I see this later and it's not me.
Oh, yeah.
It was one of those moments, yeah.
How did you feel after the audition? Do you feel like I nailed it or it sucked?
I didn't know.
Mediocre?
I didn't know what to think.
Oh, okay.
It was a scene that wasn't even for my character.
Okay.
And like fake sides kind of situation. Yeah. And then it was with David and the casting directors, and he asked me like, my feelings about elves and what do I know? And I was just like, I walked out like, oh man, he hated me, or I didn't know enough about it, or I had no idea. And I got the phone call and it was crazy.
So see, you never know. Some people are like, that's the best ones when they're like, oh, it's horrible. And then it's
exactly.
Like, great.
Yeah. I usually, those are the jobs I book actually. When I feel great, it's like I never hear from them again.
I don't know. There must be some weird science to that. Of like, how does that work?
I know.
So you kind of mentioned what drew you to the project. Was there anything, did you know more about like what genre it was? Because this is kind of almost kind of hard to quantify what genre it is.
Right. I knew that it was some sort of sci-fi based on. I knew that my character was some sort of an elf.
Okay.
But I also knew that it was action, and also just being familiar with David and the work he does. Was like, oh my God, this is gonna be some crazy shit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I had no idea, and I read the script or whichever iteration of, and I just was so excited. The script was incredible. Max Landis wrote it, and he wrote it for David specifically. So it was just everything came together pretty magically, I think.
In case people haven't seen the trailer yet, you want to briefly describe what is Bright about?
Bright is an action thriller based in a present-day alternate universe LA with orcs, fairies, elves living alongside humans.
Fun.
And it is badass and brutal and so fun, and the action scenes are amazing.
How much of them did you get to do?
What
for your action scenes? Because I think you earlier you're like, oh, I would do the stunt stuff if you could.
Yeah.
Did you have many stunts for your character, or?
I had it all came into one day.
Okay.
David put me in fight training for the weeks leading up to filming that day, and it was just the best day I've ever filmed. It was so much fun. Yeah, I just want to do that now every day. That's all I want.
What kind of training was it?
American Kempo, karate. Okay. And his childhood friend, Richard Mosquita, was my sensei. And David, sprinkles him into his films, little Easter eggs. And I just love him. I'm such a fan of his. And I've kept up my training with him when I can. It's a lot of fun.
I was just going to ask. I'm like, did you keep doing it afterwards?
Yeah, when I can, schedule-wise, and when, sensei's available. But
nice.
The plan is to continue doing that indefinitely, just crossing my fingers, waiting for the day that I have another opportunity to do stunt work and action film.
I can do these things.
Yeah, exactly. It's on my resume, and I've kept up with it.
What about that style speaks to you?
The style of karate
that you're practicing.
I haven't done any other style,
okay.
So I don't know if I can speak on that. But it just whether it was really toughening me up or bulking me up, not really. But it really is a mindset. It's a confidence thing, and it's fun because elves are all powerful beings in the bright world. So the day that I got and our beautiful wardrobe, the day that I got to film the stuntmen, I was these huge guys. I'm throwing them around the room. I grab them and I do this, and he just goes flying. They're so amazing the way the stunt guys made me look, or everyone look good. But that was really fun. That my character was this really powerful kind of person in a small little package.
Well then, clearly there's something about that style you like, because you didn't quit. You weren't I'm done.
No, it's really fun. It is a lot of fun, and I think it's a combination of that, and I've become great friends with my sensei. He's great. He brings a lot of that energy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You mentioned wardrobe. Tell me about your wardrobe, makeup, and then also your character. What's your character name? What's she like?
Lyrica. She's an elf, and she's a villain.
Ooh.
Yeah, she's kind of a baddie. And the wardrobe is amazing. We're in these amazing suits, these really deep gem-colored, silk and satin. It's just really beautiful what the team put together for everyone. They really stand out. Numi's character specifically, I don't know, I can't recall if she's in one outfit the whole film, but it's amazing. I wish I had it in my wardrobe. I would wear it every day.
If you could take one piece of wardrobe, would you take? What piece would you take if you could take anyone?
It would have been the blue suit that I shot in for Bright on my first day. Oh, I wanted it so bad. I kept asking them, "Can I buy this from you?"
They're
like, "No, girl, chill out."
How long did the makeup take, and what was involved with the makeup process for you?
It was about 2 hours. And it was a wig and ears and contacts and sharp teeth. It was so fun.
It's interesting to have fangs essentially for elves, but that sounds cool.
I know, right? Yeah, it was an interesting choice, but it worked really well. It was so much fun. It's like we play dress up as actors anyway,
Sweet.
but it's just like next level. It's so much more fun than worrying about like, oh, is my makeup perfect or my eyeliner or like blah, 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 like bullshit. This was really fun and interesting. And the head of the makeup was the duo that won the Oscar for Suicide Squad for the makeup. So it's just...
You're in good hands.
Like, right? It's just as good as it gets.
Yeah. How'd the contacts feel? Do you wear contacts? So was that new?
Don't.
Okay.
I don't. So it was new, and I feel bad for the woman that was in charge of my eyeballs because I gave her some trouble, but I didn't mind it. I think
it's weird at first. There's something coming
it's
at
weird.
your eye.
Yeah.
It's understandable to.
And they're huge, so you kind of lose your peripheral. And
are they sclera? Well, I think scleras are just black. But they were bigger.
Oh.
Are they bigger than
They were.
where the color is?
Yeah, because they were whited out, so
Okay.
it had to white out all the color. So creepy and cool.
Did you take lots of weird selfies?
Oh, hell yeah.
You're like, I can't post them yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'll wait till it drops. Hold on, fans. I got lots.
Yeah, it's an embarrassing amount. Yeah.
What's the weirdest selfie face you made with that costume then?
Just like, like, just like something
Some
really
good girl
kinda,
faces.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt cool.
Trying to look tough. And then you're like, no. This
like,
inside you're like, it's that image of like it's a kitten looking at a lion
exactly.
and be like, yeah, I feel totally badass. It's like,
exactly.
yeah. Now, also, what would you say are your similarities and differences to your character?
Well, I'm not a murderer. So
I was going to say, you're probably not a villain in real life.
That's really good news. Similarities. I don't speak Elvish. I don't know how to answer that without saying things.
Were there personality traits that were at all similar?
Sure. Okay. Without getting too weird and deep about it. Yeah, she messes up and she feels that.
All right.
What a terrible nothing answer for you.
Well, because it could be also interesting that if your character's not like you, to really, how did you approach that then? If your character isn't very similar to you, how do you find those pieces to make her feel real?
Yeah, that was all David. And again, it's not anything that I would want to talk about publicly, let alone on camera. But
You're all no secrets, trade secrets.
I know. Just the psychology of maybe disappointing someone that's very important to you, and I think that's real for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. And then of course murdering spree, and we've all been there.
Yeah.
Super relatable.
I think everybody holds that in though.
Sure.
It's Christmas season. Everybody's a bit like that at the mall, you know?
Exactly. Or like you get in the car.
Driving to the mall, yes.
Yeah, after a long day, and like you call your best friend and you just like scream for a minute, and then you're like, good.
Okay.
And then you're like, okay, thank you. You spared me from mass murdering spree.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, we've all got those.
Well, someone agrees with our engineers. Found our yes kitty.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yes. For anybody like, what are you talking about? We were talking about this before we started. The yes kitty.
We have to find you that video of all
Find
the
the other
kitties doing
kitties.
the different yas.
I don't. It's one of those. It's so dumb and so
It's
simple,
so
but it's so funny.
Makes me so happy how dumb it is.
You mentioned having to move around and everything in the wardrobe. Was it difficult to move around in a suit? Was it stretchy material or stiff?
So the suit wasn't bad, but I did do my stunt day in high heels.
How was that?
It was a whole to do.
I bet you didn't do your training in heels ahead of time as much.
Right? I just heard Numi saying that in London. She was like, I practice for however many months, and then I go to film scenes, and I'm in these like huge heels. Yeah. it was one of those things where, like, you just put your game face on and you go for it. And if you break your leg, that's fine. Just keep it moving.
Well, I would hope it's maybe towards the end of filming then.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Like, can we film this the last day?
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, if anything happens. You've mentioned Numi a couple times. What was it like working with her? And if people don't know, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. More recently, the Netflix film, What Happened to Monday?
Which was so good. Did you see that? Good. She's so cool, man.
She plays 7 people.
Yeah, and she's flawless. It was amazing working with her. She is so impressive. You feel her presence when she walks into a room. Like, she really is that kind of person. And doing a scene with her, I was mesmerized. It's like working with somebody on that level. It just felt like it was happening. I didn't have to try so hard. Just like being in the moment with her was so easy because she is that good that she makes you better. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah, man.
But is she still like cool even though she's that intense? Like, is she still like?
Oh yeah.
All right, nice. Because some actors are like super intense and then they're not very like, you don't want to chat with them.
She's cool. She could spit in my face and I'd be like, nailed it. Like, that was amazing. Do it again for the turnaround. Like, she's so good.
I know you don't really want to give too much away. Or you can't really give too much away. But what were some of your favorite moments behind the scenes on set? Or on set if you can talk about it, like if it doesn't give anything away.
Oh, geez. I'm so annoying because everything was so great.
It's all right. We still got time.
You know, even watching the film, I remember how cool it was to be around this actor, Alex Miraz, who plays another member of the Inferni.
We should mention what that is, because I don't think we quite covered that.
Oh, so my character, Larica, is in an elf gang, the Inferni, that Numi's character is, like, the leader of.
Sweet. Elf gang, check.
Elf gang, what's up? So Alex is just so impressive to watch. He is doing, you'll see the film and the stunts. I mean, he did all of the stunts himself, and
Sweet.
he's just so, he's really prolific at that, and it was just so much fun to watch him work. Everyone was so much better than me in all of the ways, just on another level. So it was amazing, just every moment I had to observe and to watch everyone. Yeah, I feel really lucky that I got to do that.
Any pranks or fun, weird shenanigans behind the scenes, or
pranks? I pranked myself.
Okay.
Being there's some scenes where I'm in a harness. I'm like kind of trapped in a rig on a wall, which I think is shown in trailers. You know, just keeping it dehydrated all day because I don't want to be a pain in the ass. The stunt team around me, these guys are literally holding me up just for hours on end.
They couldn't just like hook that on some weights or something?
Oh man, So I didn't want to be like, hey guys, I have to pee every 2 hours. So sure, that's a prank on myself, just staying dehydrated for like 16 hours a day. Does that count?
As you like
Is it
pass
the worst
out?
answer ever? Yeah,
No.
right?
People don't think about, or the people who have to be in suits, like prosthetics and whatever. And it's like, so when you have to, like, what do you? Okay,
it's too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just gotta figure that out.
You gotta deal with it. Yeah. You're like, I'm gonna minimize my water to like 1 cup an hour.
Yeah,
maybe.
exactly.
Be like, what can I pass with and not like pass out?
Just like cotton mouth, really bad
like,
breath. Everyone's avoiding me.
Director's like, excuse me, can we get some water? You're like, I'm sorry. Like, I tried.
I was just so happy. I was like, it was awkward because so I did like a 3D printed version of my body.
Okay,
so like
cool.
half of it is my body, but printed on the wall, and so I was kind of like placed at like this kind of angle,
can
like
be,
my neck goes in. And it's just like this for hours, and David would he'd be like, "You okay?" And I'm just like, I'm having the best time ever. And he's like, are you being facetious? Like, are you messing with me? I'm like, no, really. I'm fine.
What was it like seeing a 3D printed version of your body?
Weird.
I would think so.
Weird, because it's...
Yeah.
I may have honked a boob or two of my own. I have okay, so to go back to your answer, that was the creepiest selfie I've ever taken.
Oh, okay.
A selfie with myself.
Ah.
My wall.
But wait,
self.
is it your whole body or just your? Is it your body or your face too?
It's this and like this.
Okay.
And my arms are like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like my arms and my torso.
Yeah.
And I did creepy things with myself.
You're all technically
Because
it's myself, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
how many times are you gonna have a 3D printed version of your own body?
It was funny too because at some point I saw these crew members like putting their heads just like on my boobs. Yes,
You're like, yeah,
normal.
those are mine.
Those are credit that for me. Thanks.
Sign it for whatever auction something
exactly.
after it's done.
Yeah.
For charity.
Yeah, for
they have
charity.
done that. They've done it. Oh, I forget what it was, but I've seen that before. Where it was like might have been like breast cancer awareness or something, where they did casts of women's torsos,
and they do art and
yeah,
stuff.
and they painted it and they
That's
signed
cool.
it. Yeah, so
Yeah,
similar-ish idea
for charity.
you know. Now, if you could be an orc, a fairy, or an elf, what would you pick?
An elf.
And why?
Because we are high society.
Okay.
We are all powerful. And the social classes of the bright worlds, we're at the top.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, from the trailer, are fairies only small, or they have different types?
Fairies are small,
Okay.
I believe.
Well, I mean, are there more than, like in the trailer? There's the part where Will Smith like hits
He's
the
beating
thing.
the fairy.
Yeah. Are there other varieties? Do we see that?
I
Okay,
think
just the one.
that's the fairy. Yeah.
That's the only fae.
That's
Probably it.
yeah, just
Okay.
those little guys that end up in your bird feeders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how it's interesting. I've read it that it's considered sci-fi, but technically with all like orcs and elves and fairies, I'm like that goes under like fantasy. But if it's alternate dimension, essentially, or an alternate Earth, I
Right.
guess, is it futuristic at all? A little bit, or
Not at all. It's
just like
so
an
funny.
alternate Earth?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
so funny because when you watch it, there are these fantastical elements in it, of course, but it's so, the story and the characters and what's happening with them is so grounded in reality. You're just like, oh yeah, these are people and this is LA today.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. It really feels, it feels so grounded to me.
Do they approach speciesism as like a representation of racism at all, or not necessarily?
It's possible.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd be curious to see how people interpret that.
Well, because it's a much easier thing. It's like, obviously, human beings are really good at the other, but when it's another species, it's
Right.
even more to be like us
Yeah.
versus them.
Sure. It's all exacerbated a bit.
Sure. Okay.
In a way that I think it could, be an analogy for a lot of things going on. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then, what were some of your were there any moments where something didn't quite go as planned, like a happy accident, but then it worked out better anyways?
On set?
Yeah.
Geez, I don't know. Every moment, maybe. I feel like things are constantly in flux on set, right? Yeah, I'm not sure that
Nothing
I
that
recall
stood out,
something
like-
specific. Mm-mm.
Well, then that's good. Things
Yeah.
worked
Whew.
enough. You're like, at least I didn't notice.
At least, yeah, exactly. Not that anyone told me.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just very polite.
Sure.
Yeah.
How many days of filming were you involved with? And how many days was do you know how many days the whole thing was, and how many were you there?
I don't know specifically. It was a few months.
Okay. So sometime.
Sometime. It wasn't super long, I don't think, for movie production.
Well, was it like 2 weeks or something?
Right. And I was on set. I did like a few days in November and then a break, and I came back in January. And my actual time on set, I think, ended up just being a week, but I was in fight training for several weeks leading up to
Cool.
that. So that was just the most fun I've ever had, getting up every day and going to the dojo and getting my ass kicked, and I have bruises everywhere, and I'm like, yes,
You're
finally,
like, these are my battle scars,
Exactly.
my proof.
finally, I'm a badass.
Who, if you could fight any famous female badass in any movie, who would you pick?
Oh, I am so in love with Zoe Saldana. I think she is amazing. I think it would be her.
From any particular movie that you're thinking of, or?
Ooh. Oh, I love her in Columbiana.
Yeah.
And also Gamora in Guardians of the
Yeah.
Galaxy. she's so beautiful and she's such a badass. Yeah, I think I would be so mesmerized by her. I would just be like, just take me. Just whenever you
You're
want.
like, you win.
Yeah.
No contest. Yeah, there you go.
And she would anyway, but yeah, she's
cool.
Oh, hey, thanks.
And then if you could be any famous female badass or male badass, we can gender swap it, of any film, who would you want to be and why?
A character specifically?
Yeah. Let's go with character, not the actor.
Oh,
so then that way you could pick a male or female character.
Oh no. This is just fresh in my mind.
Sure.
I was watching this on my flight back. It's the new Spider-Man.
Oh, yes. Spider-Man Homecoming?
Spider-Man Homecoming. I loved so much.
Yes.
And he's such a nerd. And he's such a badass. And I love those things being coupled together because I just feel like a mess on the inside. But I want to be something else on the outside.
Yeah.
So I think I relate to that.
Sure.
Hardcore. Yeah.
Spider-Man's a good choice.
Yeah. It's fun.
Fun powers. And
Yeah. Swinging around.
Yeah.
I get to like
Yeah.
do that.
And you come with sound effects.
And I come with
You're like, no, I got this. It's all good.
You can tell I've done that around my house a few times,
it's
maybe.
okay. Are you a big comic book fan? Like, or I know you said you had just watched it, but are you a fan of like some of the other comic book superhero movies?
Yeah, I was actually really into Superman and Spider-Man comic books.
Very cool.
And I actually named my dog Mary Jane.
Aww.
And I was like 18, and everyone was like, "Oh, so you smoke a lot of weed?" And I was like, "No, actually, Spider-Man." Yeah, I never quite got to the level where I was buying and collecting, and
it's an
there's
expensive
like a
hobby.
Section of my house. Yeah,
It's an investment.
Yeah, I never got to that level, but I appreciate it.
Cool.
I think they're the coolest fans ever. Fans of those characters and the sci-fi world. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Well, there are technically, I mean, they're going to change up Spider-Man a little bit, but there are some sort of female Spider-Man characters too. So, you know, you're like, hey,
what's up?
You know?
I got flight training on my resume.
There you go. Now you've busy while filming and you have other training. What are some other hobbies you like to do to fill the rest of your schedule?
This answer is so boring. I'm super introvert, and I really like being at home. I feel like I get all my fill in being on set. You know,
you're like, I'm good.
I'm socializing. I get to be creative, and being on a little bit. So when I get home, I just want to like sleep for 14 hours and just like savage fest on Netflix with whatever it is I'm watching. And I have 2 dogs at home, and I like being with them. Yeah.
What are your dogs' names?
Mary Jane and Cora.
Cute.
Yeah.
Cora from Legend of Korra?
No, my husband named her. He was at
Okay.
a little cafe in Venice. And he had adopted her, and her name was Cody initially, I believe, and he was at Cora's Cafe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's an animated series, Legend of Korra, so.
Really?
Yes.
Where is
It's
that
off
on?
Avatar Last Airbender.
Oh.
Yeah.
Aw.
So there you go.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for
No,
that.
totally. What are you currently watching on Netflix? Or what
so
stuff
many
you like to
things.
binge?
Oh, everything.
It's a good answer.
I just got into, right? I joke that
everything. All the things.
all the things. I joke that I drank the Netflix Kool-Aid so hard, but I've
Don't we
already,
all?
Right though, I'm already such a fan. Everything they do and their original content, and then of course this film. I just recently found Dark.
Oh,
It's a German series, I believe.
Haven't watched it yet, but it's on my list.
Oh, it is creepy and awesome. I really like that one a lot. And Peaky Blinders comes back in a week, which I'm so psyched about. I love Cillian Murphy. What else am I watching? What are you watching? Tell me things.
What am I watching right now? I have old school stuff. I
Like what?
started watching Charmed.
Really?
Went way back. I had never watched Charmed, so I'm like, I'm going to start Charmed.
Good for you.
I'm a quarter into a Bollywood film. I watch Bollywood, too. It's my other
eclectic.
religion, you know, it's
I
all-
like it.
And then I hop over to Amazon and watch Downton Abbey. Finally get around to that one.
Okay.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
But see, I don't have enough time. That I like some shows where you could just watch one, and you're like, all right, I'm just gonna do like one a day or something.
Yeah.
Like Charm so far is like that, where I'm like, it's fine. I just watch one and I'll come back later.
Yeah. The Punisher
is
so good
on
Netflix right now. Yeah.
Did you finish?
Ooh, I did.
Okay.
Oh, I crushed that in like 3 days. Yikes.
No, it's no shame. And we all are like, it's like when Netflix has that thing where it's like, are you still watching? And you're like, don't judge.
It's offensive. Yeah. I'm like, don't ask me this, obviously.
You're like, yeah, totally.
Of course. I canceled my social plans. Normal behavior.
So what's the next project for you? Do you have anything lined up currently?
So right now I'm just promoting Bright.
Cool.
And I'm really excited about that going into the new year and into pilot season. Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
So you're like, I got this thing. Did you see
this thing? I have this thing. Have you seen this thing? It's wonderful. I'm in a hello.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Well, best of luck then going into pilot season. Now you have some great content to be like, look, this is what I can do.
Yeah. The dream is to get a chance to ever work with David again, because he was just incredible, and for Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Anything. I'd be like, whatever it is.
You're
whatever.
Just like, I'm here.
Yeah, I will clean your sets if you can.
You're like, I prefer acting, but you know, yeah. Something actually kind of interesting with Bright too that I saw is not only is it premiering on Netflix on the 22nd, but it's also going to be in some select theaters. Did you know that going in, that they're like, oh, and we're going to do some theaters, or did they not tell you?
No, I don't think they quite had it figured out for a while. I think everyone thought it was a possibility because, of course, it's like this big blockbuster for them. But I do think that's really interesting. Yeah, I'll be excited to see those numbers if we ever learn that, because it is such a fun, huge film. And I think it's great both ways, because I do just think it's just a dying business. Nobody goes to the movies anymore.
Well, you do when you have Movie Pass. Not sponsored, though.
Oh, yes?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm on another show, Box Office Breakdown. We all have Movie Pass now, and we're like, we're not sponsored, but we'll totally rave about Movie Pass, but we're not sponsored.
That's so funny. It's
hard. A lot of people don't go to the theaters as much anymore, or there are special things like Netflix or a couple other... Inhumans did that too, but that didn't have as great of a turnout.
Really?
They had a episode. They premiered like the first, I think, and second episode in theaters, but it was
really?
like womp womp. Yeah.
Oh.
But that
actually
is a very different title too.
Sure.
Like this is one film.
Right.
Has A-list actors.
Right.
You know, it's an easy sell to be in a regular theater.
Yeah.
But it just happens to be on Netflix.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
It's so cool. I think it's so special that the whole world gets this film on the same day. I just think everyone is going to watch it because they can, and I think that's really special.
Ready to start walking out in your sunglasses now and be like,
oh,
hi?
No.
Like,
no.
Yeah, that's me.
No, I would have to put the contacts in and the elf ears on and my wig on.
Do you feel you're pretty? Oh, there you go. When it comes out, you should do a before and after photo.
You think?
Yeah, just to show like the transformation, because that's pretty interesting, you know, to see like how much makeup artists really transform actors from the outside, you know?
Yeah, I'm curious. It's hard to be objective with my own face, but I am curious how recognizable. I don't know, but I love that, though. Yeah. I love that I look so creepy and different, and I think it's so cool. Yeah, nice. I love that.
How do you feel, though, that it's going to be in theaters? Are you excited of, like, your movies not only online, however people get their Netflix.
Right.
But it's in theaters as well, because that's a little bit different, you know?
Yeah.
If not just... It's uber accessible.
Of course. Yeah, I think it's
everybody.
Really exciting. I think, like, my family and my best friend are like, okay, we'll go drive to whatever theater it's in.
Aww,
you know?
Go support.
Which is sweet. Yeah, of course. I watched it at the premieres in LA and London. How did the premiere go? And amazing.
Yeah.
And I got to watch on the big screen at the premieres, and it's like, oh, it just feels so right. I mean, of course, I'm gonna watch it again on Friday in my own living room, but it did feel. It felt good, you know. Like if you're in a theater and even a good trailer comes on, you're like, all the things, you know. There's something about the magnitude of that. So I do hope people go see it in theaters. Yeah.
Well, there you guys go. You can go see it in theaters, or if you are more of a homebody and want to stay at home, you can watch it on your couch.
Like me.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. I'm like, Friday we're going into Christmas weekend. People might want to be like, we're just at home.
Right.
And then there was kind of maybe, do you think this is a title that they could make a franchise, like, or make other movies, or make a show out of it?
Oh, of course.
Okay, cool.
I think this is so amazing. It would shock me if it weren't their next big franchise. Of course, I want more, and I know everything about it. And I'm like, oh, tell me more. I want more detail. I want to see more of the characters. Absolutely.
Do you think you'd rather it be more movies or a show?
As an actor, like, what would I prefer to?
Well, they've set up this world.
Right.
So
Okay.
So in telling the story of that world bright, do you feel it would translate better to making other films, or have they set up the world enough that they could do it as like a show, but release it like a Netflix one, like you release them all?
Right. I think either way, because selfishly, I want a series because I want 10 hours in lieu of 2.
Yeah.
But I think they really just pulled it off as like a succinct film.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it does leave you wanting more, and that Bright too. Yeah, I think it works so perfectly as a film.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, then hopefully there will be a sequel.
I know, right? Yes. And I hope David directs it again.
Yeah.
Because, he just does LA so well. And I think that's a big part of what keeps it based in reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it nice to stay more local then?
Yeah, how cool is that?
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of a rare thing these days, that you get to film a movie that takes place in LA and you're getting to shoot in LA. That's really special. Yeah.
So you're actually like, oh, I recognize that. And
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That's
it's really
cool.
fun.
Wonderful. Cool. So we're pretty much at the end of our time. Is there anything?
I did it?
Yeah, you lasted the whole time. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about or plug or whatever?
Just this movie.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's all I want to talk about these days. I'm just so excited, especially after seeing it. I'm just like, oh, I'm so annoying.
You just
to
have
anyone
to
who knows
lip
me,
sealed.
I apologize because I'm just over the top obnoxious excited.
Well, you can't fully talk about it yet. Or wait, are you telling people you're like?
Oh no. But that's
You're
part
like,
of
I'll tell
why
you on
I'm
Friday.
Exactly, but that's why I'm so annoying, because I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, just trust me. You know, can't tell you anything.
Yeah.
Just take my word for it. And they're like,
Oh,
all
cool.
right. Yeah.
Well, in the meantime, before it comes out, where can people find you online to be up to date on all your fun adventures?
At It's Nadia Gray. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
It's Nadia Gray.
There we go. Yeah. Good,
Not it's.
Yeah.
It's. I didn't realize that someone could.
Well, because
take
you're
that the wrong
saying it
way
and you're
until
like,
you said
no.
it. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Nadia Gray.
We like to specify.
Yeah, nailed it.
Well, go check out Bright on Netflix or in theaters on December 22nd. So that's Friday. So
Friday.
almost there.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. My name is Kari Lane. You can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's Karidlane. Thank you so much for watching iTalk Movies. And thank you so much, Nadia, for joining us today. It was really fun to talk about this movie, and I'm so excited to see it.
Thanks. Thank you so much for having me.
We'll get to listen to the song on our way out. Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all next time.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.
I can take out all the evil, empowerment to all my people. I can prove to you I'm a leader. Run through the money, no fees.